Hi, horror fans. Welcome to Horror Movies and Beyond. I'm your host, Ivotres Littles, and today I'm joined by the star of this intense thriller horror movie, Diabolic. Let's welcome Elizabeth Cullen.
Thanks so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for doing this. Thank you so much. This film was bloody, it was creepy, it was intense, and the drama between the characters. Okay, I need some popcorn. A soda. Let's see how this unfolds. The question I have, and I hope no one overlooks this film, is that your multiple characters and range of performance you have was unmatched. And I also wanted to include, on top of that, each time your character shows up, it's elevated based on the situation that character's in. Was it something that beforehand, before filming, you guys went over the characters and see how this is going to progress? Or the director let you be freely to interpret your interpretation of the characters?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. Um, there are the multiple iterations of Elise because of the kind of fractured person she has become, because of her past traumas and that she can't remember large parts of her past. She really is like a puzzle with all these missing pieces, and then she gets to kind of transform again. So there were these three or even more versions of her that I got to play around with. And it was definitely a conversation and an ongoing conversation that I had with Dan Phillips, the director, who is so fantastic in helping me kind of craft the narrative and make sure that we balance it out, because obviously we don't want anything to kind of like cross over or confuse the audience, because there are like moments where she like disappears into herself and maybe she's like taking on a different version of herself. So it was measured and balanced and considered throughout. And but obviously Dan was also very happy to let me play, and he gave me lots of room to move, and we had a very trusting relationship, which I appreciate so much and I value so much.
As I was watching this film, it's like the little things she was doing, it goes full circle with that
Mhm.
character. Like it starts here and it ends there.
Yeah.
And I just want another thing that I love is the ending because
Yeah.
I love when you. I'm not going to do any spoilers, but I love
Yeah.
how it ended because
Yeah.
I like to see horror films end like that. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen often, and it was that little smirk you did that I was like,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, I was very conscious of that smirk being a very particular way. So I'm so glad that it hit home for you. And I hope it hits home for everybody. I love the ending too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very powerful, powerful, and yeah, power to Elise in that moment as well.
Mm. And
Yeah.
also it was a lot of physical things as well, especially the scene with your boyfriend that played
Mm.
Adam and then also I think it's Hiram. I think that's how you say it.
Hiram,
Yeah,
yeah.
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 And it was just very physical in that room. How was
Yeah.
that? Was that you? Because it was somebody else. But it was
Yeah.
still her.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
was it was me.
Okay.
Yeah, but we had an amazing stunt team. Glenn Boswell was our stunt coordinator, who's like he's just a legend in the industry, and I was so lucky to get to work with him. So we had some stunts and some rigs set up, but the physicality of Elise throughout was something that I was very conscious of, and wanted to like make very distinct between the versions of her. And obviously what she goes through, there's a lot of physical stuff that actually happens to her. And I was up for the challenge. Like I really relish when I get to be very physical in a role. I want my whole body to be involved a lot of the time, because it really is like an instrument, and it's like an amazing thing that you get to do as part of the craft. So I grew up being a dancer and gymnastics, and I kind of like I want my full body involved. So the fact that I got to do that and to do it in such a safe environment where I was being so looked after, it was a real treat for me.
And yeah, and your expressions and just like you said, your full body was in there. It's so hard because it's
I
like I
know.
want to say, but
I
it's like,
know.
ugh, they
Yeah,
have
I
to
know. I
see it. They
know.
have to see it because
Yeah.
I mean, just the part where they was removing things,
Yes. Yeah.
and I was like,
A lot
ugh,
of
you know.
there's a lot of gunk that happens, and a lot of bodily things happen. That was fun though. I like as disgusting as it seemed and was, it was so much fun. And that's why I love practical effects. Practical effects
Mhm.
are amazing because for you, the actor, and for the other actors and for the crew as well, like everybody there, it really brings you into the world. And it obviously it can take longer, it can be messy, and there can be pressure because of resets and things like that. But yeah, it just roots you into what is happening. And yeah, it really is horrifying.
Yeah.
But also very fun, like being a kid and playing around with like slime. It's that same kind of thing.
How did you get involved into this project? Was it you read the script and was like, yeah, I love this?
I think from memory, I auditioned before I saw the script. So I
Oh.
auditioned, yeah, yeah. So I got
The
yeah. So
confidence.
yeah, so I auditioned. I didn't say yes, but I
Oh,
before I
okay.
saw the script. But I auditioned first. I saw the script, and then I spoke with Dan extensively about the project and about his vision because I found the script to be very intriguing. Dan and Mike, Mike Harding, the co-writers, and Mike's wife, Tisha, it's a lot of it is based on her life and her early life in the FLDS church. So there's a lot of truth to the realistic parts of the script and to the FLDS practices. And I was interested in that kind of grounded, real, and kind of horrifying parts of the script and of Elisa's story. And then in the horror genre in general, I love that genre because of its ability to be manipulated and to kind of cross over and and really like explore parts of the self and a lot of inner conflict as well as outer conflict. So it was all of those things that kind of came together, and I got along really well with Dan, and I trusted him, and I felt like it would be a great project to be involved in. Also, Australian horror is really popping off, and there's some amazing independent horror films coming out of Australia, and I really just jumped at the opportunity to be involved in one.
Yes, I have to say that you're absolutely right about the Australian horror because I've watched a few and had
Mhm.
interviews with
Yeah.
a few people that had their independent films come out of there, and it was they I was just blown away because it was just like they just go for it. They
Yeah.
just jumped right in. In this film, I wanted so much more. It was giving so much more, but I was like, I want more, I want more. But you never
Yeah.
know because it does kind of hint maybe a part two.
There's an open-ended
Yeah,
quality to
yeah,
it.
yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, I want it.
Oh, good, good. Yeah.
Another thing I didn't know about, the history of that because it is based on true events and things like that. I went to look it up, and it made
Mm.
it even more interesting and frightening.
I did a lot of research and watched a lot of documentaries and tried to find lived experiences as well as Tisha's who informed the original stories of the original story that Diabolic became. And just to kind of understand what it would be like to be a woman growing up in those kind of conditions and like where you lack autonomy and control over your life and your decision making, your body and who you are and will become, which was yeah, it's very heavy kind of content matter in a lot of ways, and it was also interesting to kind of like start to understand these women and see that, I mean, not in this story, but despite that, in the real kind of stories of women who grew up in these spaces, that they are able to find themselves and find community and there's lightness despite or everything that's kind of pushing them in and pushing them down, which was very inspiring. And it helped with informing a lot of Elisa's inner strength, I think, as well.
You could definitely see it like through the many multiple character personalities of Elise. But I have to ask you, did you? But there was a scene where you were sitting like you were digging. Did you see the witch? Was that filmed separately or was she there? Because the that camera was there for a while and I was like,
Yeah.
ooh.
No, so in that moment it was filmed separately, so I
Okay.
didn't see. Yeah.
Do you
So
ever see the witch in full get up?
no, that was the weird thing. We didn't actually cross paths very much because yeah, I mean I did see Seraphine who played LaRue.
Mm.
Um I did see her, and it was oftentimes when we were having lunch or something, and she would be in full getup, but like eating, and it would just take me out of it completely. But it was, yeah, she was such a trooper. It's like such a frightening look. So, and she wears it so well, did such an amazing job.
And
Um,
you did too, because she, okay, I'm not gonna say that. But something happens where you
yeah, but thank
see,
you.
yeah, you're you.
It was
And that was
fun.
just as creepy too.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I like the chance to be a bit creepy.
Well, you did a phenomenal job. This film
Thank
comes
you.
out February 13th, right? In
I believe
select
so, yeah.
theaters, yeah, or in mini theaters, and then VOD later. So, but check it out in the theaters. I mean, that's where
Yes,
it's at. Yeah, enjoy
gotta
because
see it in the
you
movies.
have the big screen. You can get the full effect. You got to see the whole monster. You got to see her digging and
Hmm.
shaking and saying all kind of stuff, and it's just such
Hmm.
a story with these characters because it's not only about some cursed witch. It just the drama unfolds between her friends, her boyfriends, and the history of the past, and it all just comes full circle. And it was
Hmm.
just like, whoa, I did not see that coming.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear. And yeah, everyone should see it in cinemas if you can. Support cinemas.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it's a good one to see in the dark.
Thank you so much. This was
Of
so much
course.
fun, and I'm
Of
wishing
course.
you
Yeah, I
all
loved
the
it.
best in your career and keep them films coming.
Oh, I shall try. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.